Threats and insults are how Washington and Tehran communicate these days.
If Iran threatens us in any way, they will pay a price like few countries have ever paid.
They restart their nuclear program, they will have bigger problems than they have ever had before.
Iranian President Hassan Rouhani firing back, calling Trump a building contractor with no knowledge of foreign affairs, ridiculing the idea of further negotiations.
There's absolutely no chance whatsoever that Iran will accept a new deal. If the U.S. pulls out of the agreement, I think that Iran will pull out of the agreement.
Spurned by the West, Iran is likely to become more confrontational, with implications for regional stability and U.S. allies, Israel and Saudi Arabia. On the streets of Tehran, many young Iranians are worried about the consequences of the deal being scrapped.
We're worried about collapsing the deal because we can't predict the Iranian government behavior about this collapsing.
This is Tehran's Grand Bazaar, the beating heart of Iran's economy. And the merchants that work here are worried that if Donald Trump pulls the rug from underneath the nuclear deal, things are going to get worse than they already are. Nader, a third-generation carpet dealer, could always rely on a steady income from one of Iran's most famous products. But not anymore. He says business is 90% down.
Because we have problem with transfer money. When you sell something, you cannot take the money.
With Trump looking to scrap the agreement and Iran threatening to restart its nuclear program, undoing the Iran deal may lead to the death of diplomacy and the rebirth of unpredictable animosity. Ali Arouzi, NBC News, Tehran.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.